Yeah, I think it's just competition. It's been competition since college. Being able to play against Caitlin. I've been playing against Caitlin since we were probably in 8th or 9th grade.
Angel Reese's Super Bowl antics sparked cheers and jeers, but was it a strategic move or a misstep? While Clark refines her game, Reese's choices ignite debates. Is she building a brand or just stirring the pot? Find out why the Chi-Town Barbie is always making headlines. Let's start with Angel Reese's Super Bowl weekend. It wasn't just a casual celebrity appearance, it was a calculated move, a brand-building exercise executed with both style and savvy. Think about this. New Orleans, the Super Bowl atmosphere electric in the air, and Angel Reese right in the thick of it, not as a spectator, but as a participant, an influencer, a force to be reckoned with. Forget blending into the background. She was making sure everyone knew she was there and doing it on her terms. Think about the strategic value of attending the Fanatic Super Bowl party. It's not just a party, it's a concentrated gathering of the biggest names in entertainment, sports, and business. For those unfamiliar with the scale of these events, a room overflowing with celebrities, each sporting outfit that probably cost more than a small car, casually discussing deals that could reshape entire industries. It's a different world, and Angel Reese was navigating it with confidence and grace. Images of her mingling with other stars, laughing and engaging, are powerful tools for shaping her public image. She's not just a basketball player, she's a personality, a cultural figure, someone who transcends the boundaries of her sport. However, Reese's Super Bowl involvement wasn't just about the glamour and the parties. She was also actively participating in the NFL's Super Bowl festivities. She had direct and active participation in the entire thing. This is a crucial distinction. It's not enough to simply show up and be seen. You must be engaged, contributing, and demonstrating that you're more than just a pretty face. This adds a layer of authenticity to her presence, signaling that she's not just chasing fame, but genuinely invested in the broader sports community. Before we move on, make sure to like and subscribe for all the updates you need about the WNBA world. Let's continue. The Super Bowl activities are a very big deal for all the individuals that play. It's a smart move for her brand because it's all about expanding reach, connecting with new audiences, and solidifying her position as a multifaceted talent. The more she's visible, the more she resonates with people beyond the WNBA, and the more opportunities will inevitably come her way. Also, it was great she looked as if she was also having fun. Let's zoom in specifically on her role as a coach for Kai Cenat's team. For the uninitiated, Kai Cenat is an absolute titan in the streaming world. He commands millions of viewers, trends relentlessly, and wields an immense amount of influence over his dedicated fan base. To give some perspective, think of a modern rock star, but instead of playing music, he's entertaining millions with his personality, his humor, and his unfiltered commentary. The image of Angel Reese, a WNBA star known for her fierce competitiveness, coaching that guy in a celebrity flag football game. Accounts of their interactions are comedic gold. Reports were circulating of Reese attempting to explain complex plays to a visibly bewildered Cenat, whose eyes glazed over with each diagram she drew in the dirt. You could almost feel her internal struggle between wanting to impart her knowledge and simply laughing at the absurdity of the situation. The entire scenario is hilarious. The entire scenario is a perfect display of her ability to engage with different audiences and connect on multiple levels. But the real surprise, when Reese threatened to bench Cenat if he didn't start performing, it's a celebrity gam. This encapsulates her unwavering competitive spirit, regardless of the context. It underscores that she takes everything she does seriously, even if it's a light-hearted celebrity event. And it sends a message to anyone who might underestimate her. She's there to win, and she expects everyone on her team to share that commitment. The moment was electric. It's time to acknowledge that Angel Reese is more than just a basketball player. She is also a fashion icon. It's undeniable that she has an innate sense of style, a fearlessness in her choices, and an ability to command attention wherever she goes. She just oozes with charisma and confidence. It's not merely about making expensive clothes. It's about creating a look that reflects your personality, your values, and your aspirations. She understands this concept on a fundamental level, and it's evident in every outfit she puts together. Also, Reese's fashion speaks to her personally and emotionally. Athletes aren't solely defined by their on-field performance. They are brands, influencers and tastemakers, shaping trends and inspiring millions with their style choices. And Angel Reese is undoubtedly at the vanguard of this movement. She is making something happen and showing that she is also a businesswoman. Her upcoming sneaker line with Reebok in 2026 only solidifies her place as a fashion authority. It's important to acknowledge that Reese works diligently. Her participation in the unrivaled league is proof of that. She is doing a lot of training, and her brand is getting better every day. Yet, Clark has cultivated a different image, an aura of relentless dedication, a tireless pursuit of perfection. It's a distinct contrast that highlights two different approaches to success. The former thrives in the spotlight, embracing the celebrity that comes with her fame and creating new fans for her game. The latter is all about the game. It is all about training and about becoming the best basketball player that she can be. Each approach is valid. ESPN's highly anticipated 2025 rankings dropped, placing Caitlin Clark at number 2 and Angel Reese way down at number 12. What followed was a predictable firestorm of debate and outrage, because the internet loves nothing more than a good ranking controversy.
People don't know the legacy of us being able to play against each other for a really long time, but obviously social media is going to put two women against each other.
Were these rankings objective? Were they influenced by bias or personal preferences? Or were they simply crafted to generate maximum clicks and engagement? The truth is probably somewhere in between. Rankings are inherently subjective, influenced by a multitude of factors, and often designed to provoke discussion about whether the rankings are considered right or wrong. You can bet that Angel Reese noticed. She is a very competitive individual, so she probably did not like the rankings. And while we can't know for sure what she was thinking, you can only imagine the fuel that this added to her already burning competitive fire. Regardless of the validity or fairness of the rankings, the controversy served to further ignite the already intense rivalry between Reese and Clark, and ultimately, that's good for the WNBA. Let's dive into the controversial Chennedy Carter-Caitlin Clark incident, because it's impossible to discuss the dynamic between these two players without addressing this flashpoint. The hard foul, the words exchanged on the court, and Angel Reese's reaction in the aftermath, it all combined to create a maelstrom of debate and division. For those who somehow managed to miss it, Chennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky delivered a forceful foul against Caitlin Clark during a game. This was not a subtle bump. It was a deliberate and impactful collision that immediately sparked controversy. Almost immediately, Reese was seen supporting and hyping up her team and saying that she did not like Clark. Unsurprisingly, the incident ignited widespread condemnation. Reese was swiftly labelled as unsportsmanlike, classless, and even malicious.
I'll take that of being able to be the person that gets the hate, but I know that at the end of the day, I'm growing women's basketball and helping women's basketball.
Some critics accused her of celebrating an injury, arguing that her actions were a terrible reflection on the WNBA and women's basketball. The court of public opinion delivered a harsh verdict, and Reese found herself at the centre of a firestorm of negativity. However, defenders of Reese emerged to argue that her reaction was merely an expression of competitive spirit and unwavering support for her teammate. They suggested that trash talk and physicality are inherent aspects of the game, particularly in a rivalry as intense as the one between the Sky and the Fever. They also pointed out that Reese has a long-standing and well-documented history of fierce loyalty to her teammates, and that her reaction was consistent with her established persona. It should also be recognised that the two teams hate each other. So let's dive deep into the whole classless label that was slapped on Angel Reese after the Chennedy Carter-Caitlin Clark incident. This wasn't just a minor disagreement, it ignited a full-blown criticism. And to understand the intensity of that reaction, we must unpack why that particular word, classless, resonated so strongly. The accusations centered on the perception that Reese was celebrating Clark's misfortune, which is never a good look. Whether it's a hard foul, a missed shot, or any other kind of setback, visibly reveling in another player's struggle just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. It's seen as a violation of the unspoken code of sportsmanship, the idea that even in the heat of competition you maintain a certain level of respect for your opponent. For many, Reese's actions were a clear departure from those principles. They argued it didn't matter what the history was between the two players, or how intense the rivalry had become. There are just certain lines you don't cross, and celebrating a potential injury is one of them. It's not just about the game, it's about demonstrating empathy and recognizing the shared humanity of your fellow competitors. Other observers took a different view, suggesting the classless label was unfairly applied. They argued that Reese was caught up in the moment, passionately supporting her teammate after a hard-fought play. Emotions run high during games, especially in rivalry matchups, and it's not always easy to perfectly control your reactions. And that is okay. She is not a robot. She is a human being just like the rest of us.
I don't think it's just her fans. I think it's fans in general. I mean, people don't realize at the end of the day we're human. I mean, you guys watch us, and knowing that, like, it's just basketball.
They also pointed out that in the world of professional sports, a certain amount of trash talk and gamesmanship is not only tolerated, but often encouraged. It's seen as part of the entertainment, a way to hype up the rivalry and make the games more exciting. As such, it should not be taken too seriously. The debate over the classless accusations highlights a fundamental tension in sports, the balance between intense competition and basic sportsmanship. Where do you draw the line between passionate support for your team and disrespect for your opponent? And are female athletes held to a different standard than their male counterparts? To truly appreciate the intensity of the Reese-Clark dynamic, we need to trace its roots back to the beginning. This isn't a rivalry manufactured for television. It's been simmering for years, fueled by genuine competition and a healthy dose of mutual respect. Most people point to the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament Championship game as the starting point. That's when the world got to see the intensity of the competition between the LSU Tigers and the Iowa Hawkeyes. However, their connection goes back even further than that. Before they were college stars, Reese and Clark were already making names for themselves on the amateur athletic union circuit, playing for rival teams. In other words, they have faced off countless times, and their rivalry dates to when they were just teenagers with big dreams. This means they have a deep understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and that understanding adds another layer of complexity to their interactions. It's not just about a single game, it is about many years and lots of games. The relationship is very deep, and that's why fans want to see them play as much as possible. One defining characteristic of the Reese-Clark rivalry is the unmistakable element of trash talk. It's a key component of their dynamic, adding spice and intrigue to their encounters. And no discussion of their trash talk is complete without dissecting Reese's infamous "you can't see me" gesture directed at Clark during the 2023 championship game. It's a bold move, particularly in the context of a high-stakes championship game. But it was precisely that boldness that made it so memorable. It was a statement of dominance, a declaration of victory, delivered with a swagger and confidence that only Angel Reese could pull off. It was not very sportsmanship, according to many analysts. Alright, let's move on to Caitlin Clark's reaction to the heat swirling around Angel Reese, particularly after that championship game and the subsequent incidents that had everyone talking. As the criticism aimed at Reese reached a fever pitch, Clark made a choice that stood out. She stepped up to defend her competitor. Now, in the hyper-competitive world of sports, that's not always the first instinct. You might expect someone to capitalize on the negativity, to add fuel to the fire, but Clark took a different route. It was a calculated display of sportsmanship and maturity that changed the entire dynamic. It was about taking responsibility for the situation and showing how mature she can be, even if everything is chaotic. The interesting thing is that Clark didn't just offer a generic canned statement about respecting her opponents. She got specific, speaking to the trash talk and the competitive fire that fuels these rivalries. It was a nuanced perspective that acknowledged the intensity of the game, while also emphasizing the importance of respect and growth. Clark's response here was more than just a nice gesture. It was a strategic move that helped reframe the entire narrative around their rivalry. Instead of letting it spiral into a toxic feud, she elevated the conversation, highlighting the positive aspects of their competition and emphasizing the overall growth of women's basketball. Her actions earned her a new respect from fans, the media, and even her fellow players. It showed that even during intense competition, there's room for grace, understanding, and a shared commitment to the sport. It's what sets those great players apart from everyone else. So, where does all this history and drama leave us? WNBA matchups between Angel Reese's Chicago Sky and Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever are appointment viewing. These aren't just regular games, they are marked with intensity, drama, and tension. That's how you can make people interested. The hype that these two players have, and the rivalry helps make the sport better and attracts new people to watch. It shows how intense the sport can be and gets great numbers. What makes these matchups so compelling? Is it the clash of styles, the unmistakable chemistry, the historic rivalry? It is likely all. The numbers don't lie either. The WNBA sees the impact this rivalry has. There is no need to be negative about their situation, we can look forward to that. Fans have already circled those games on their calendars, and they're doing everything they can to score tickets. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more sports commentary, and let me know your thoughts on Angel Reese in the comments below. Are you Team Reese, Team Clark, or just here for the drama? Let's discuss.